Liminality, liminal spaces, liminal times, liminal places. Everyone's familiar with them. We may call them different things, have different ways we've experienced them, but it's something that comes up in the witch community a lot. As I begin filming this, it is 11:59, April the 30th, and it is Beltane tomorrow. Within seconds, actually. It is a liminal time on a liminal date, halfway between the start of spring and the start of summer. The energy shifts. The way the nature acts shifts. In that shifting and changes, we enter liminal. Happy Beltane. I'm going to send us to future Michael. Enjoy. As we sit here nearing the middle point of spring on the 1st of May in Beltane, the seasonal energy in nature is changing around us. With those changes, have you ever been in a space that feels like it is in between? Yes, I have. Where I grew up, there were Indian mounds all over the place. I could go a mile in any of the cardinal directions and the 4 in-between directions and be with different Indian mounds within about a mile or less. I grew up about a half an hour north of the Ohio River, and that's a massive energy current. And I had Serpent Mound about 45 minutes away, and another Native American site of similar use just on the other side of the Crater Valley from me. So I definitely grew up in what I feel to be a liminal space. Question 2. What sensations do you feel in your body, physically or spiritually, that tell you you're in a liminal space? Like the hair on the back of the neck, hair on the arms changes. You feel the energy around you shift, and it'll take on like this certain charge or hum to it. Sometimes your senses will sharpen as you kind of step from the normal material world into that liminal space where things start to overlap and they get kind of weird. The way we process colors may change. It may shift to a more desaturated or saturated look depending on the energies I feel are overlapping. When in these liminal spaces, how do they feel to you? Do these specific sensations have any meaning to you in that moment? Yes and no. Each space is gonna kind of be colored by the energy currents running through it. Like I could be stepping from one space into the next, into a pocket that is that liminal space. And if the energy changes in a certain way, my body will react to it. Like the hairs on the back of the neck, the hairs on the arms will stand up. And I'll get a feeling of, got a GTFO. This doesn't feel right. I went back to a place that my best friend and his family lived on for a long time after they'd left it and moved. They were the last people that had lived there. What a lot of people don't realize is almost the entire southern third of Ohio is a massive forest. Yes, there are small towns and farms scattered in between in little pockets, but it's still just pockets of towns and cities within mostly trees. And forests can have their own weird little liminal energy. They had a tobacco barn across from their house The gentleman that owned their property was a tobacco farmer. And we were kind of doing the old urban explorer, or in this case, rural explorer thing. Walking around exploring just what was left in the house, the barns, his grandfather's property. And we step into the barn, and the 2 footsteps, the energy just shifts like super friggin' quick. We get in there and kind of look around. We feel like we're being watched, and the energy just said, go. So we left and didn't really look back on it. My other best friend is a practicing witch, has been a practicing witch for a long time. She's like, I've never felt anywhere like that in my life. That was definitely strange. Wonder what's up with that, because it didn't feel like that before. So energy shifted. Day's energy was different for her. So definitely the sensations will change from spot to spot. What magics do you do when in these spaces? Number 4, what magics do you like to do in between? Do you feel that this magic is harder to do or easier to do? And why do you feel that? I think each space is going to have its pluses and minuses, and certain energy that it may be easier to perform within them. Like, I've been in a liminal pocket before by a creek that was running solidly, not overly aggressive, but not just a dry, weak little trickle either. That had a very life affirming and just cleansing energy. So I've worked something to kind of clear energy and just let it go on down into the waters, into the river, and out into the ocean just to be recycled. And I've been in spaces where it just felt like spirit travel, astral travel was so much easier, and I've done that work there too. Like, I've done the spirit travel and astral travel in those spaces. There are other liminal areas where you feel like you've gone back in time, and if I ever get back to them, Serpent Mount, I want to try to see past lives and see what I can see and learn what I can in that space, because it feels like the area is both in and out of time, and it has access like a ladder to all the years gone before and all the years to come. What energies, or what external energies, dance in those spaces? Do they present themselves to you? Do they come out to you to interact with them? Do you communicate with them? These could be ancestors, deities, aliens, cryptids, anything. Spaces can vary in vibe. It really is kind of space dependent on who's more likely to be there. I've been in a liminal pocket before in the family cemetery, and the ancestors were right there. So easy to speak with, interact with, talk to. And then I've been in liminal spaces where the gods are just there. And you just sit and share time and space, talk, listen. If you're smart, you do a lot of listening in those instances. Liminal spaces, to me, if they're just naturally occurring in nature, they are an energy highway and a portal between realms of existence, realms of perception. And if one just randomly appears in a space, that's external forces wanting to talk to you. Question 6. Share your personal gnosis on what a portal/liminal space is, how it is caused, and why we stumble upon them. Portals and liminal space are caused by energetic changes and energetic shifts in an area. Some spaces will be more prone to them than others. Like ley lines, I feel almost have portals on them all the freaking time. Some may be closed off, some may be wide open. I feel like just nature and the universe interacting in certain spots will create liminal spaces and portal spaces. Sometimes it may be deity or other spirit created, and sometimes human beings can create portals and liminal spaces by their actions, by their workings. For witches that cast the magic circle, you are creating a liminal bubble set aside from the everyday mundane world to do your work in, and it serves as several different things at once. It is a space set aside with intention for your working or your right. It is a space to protect you from outside energies and influences. It is a space to get your mind working into the magical mindset. It's like, okay, sorry, I am in the quarters, and now is the time for me to work my magics. We stumble on portal spaces and liminal space just from traversing about our day-to-day lives. Unless we go looking for them intentionally and are led to them. Some people, if they want to find a liminal area or a portal, will do divination or bring with them dowsing rods. There used to be a blog back in the day called the Hedge Druid Report or something similar about two druids in England that would go dowsing for ley lines in different megalithic sites in England, Wales, Scotland, northern France, and they would write up blog entries and just massive and in-depth reports on what they would find in those spaces. I feel like there's a lot that can be said on portal spaces and liminal spaces, but I can't really find the words for it at the moment. I do apologize if you hear this scratching noise. My dog seems to be trying to dig through her rib cage at the moment. Like, fleas are really bad down here this year, and we bathed her a few days ago, and she's about due for another round. Number 7. When entering those spaces, do you take any protective measures before stepping in? If I am entering a space that I know is a liminal pocket, I will work to boost my protective energy shields and make sure that I am aware of where I'm going and what I'm doing. Like, I will go to these spaces with a plan, because going into a space like that, and, well, generally just going out not shielded and not grounded isn't a good idea when you're a practitioner, because we are a beacon throughout the cosmos, both seen and unseen, realm to realm and dimension to dimension. It's like, oh, Draven has stepped outside and he's not really shielded today. Let's go pay him a visit. And some of those entities may not be nice. And liminal spaces make it so much easier for those entities to show up. Number 8. Share a particularly magical experience you've had from a portal space. This one that comes to mind easy for me is stepping into Serpent Mount. for the first time, you have to drive through this backcountry road in rural Ohio, and it's quite a haul. But you turn up to the right from the direction I come from, and you go up this grade. It's about like that. It's pretty steep, but as you turn to go up the drive, you feel that energetic shift. You feel like the air changes and it lightens. Serpent Mound is set on several ley lines. It is a solar calendar. If anybody is in southwestern Ohio and can go on the summer solstice, do it. It is an experience that you really can't put into words. But the space felt so alive and so clean that when it came time to leave after being there for several hours, I didn't want to go. And I'm a fucking hermit, man. I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to go places. But Serpent Mound, if I could, I'd probably live there. Number 9. Have you ever created a portal space intentionally or by accident? How did it feel? What happened within it? I have created portal space several times, but every time I've done so intentionally, it was to do a magical working of some sort. And the energy always has that extra spark to it. That crackling little energy, like the example I want to give here is you have a fire lit, but it's kind of low. You throw some wood on it, some paper, and there's this cloud of sparks go up. And the energy in the air becomes like that once you create that liminal space. But those sparks is just an energetic charge. The work can really be done in that area. You are protected and set out of space and time. It becomes your temple for that moment that you have the portal up. And within that magical space, I've made another portal. I've talked before about how I help the spirits of children cross over and go into their next life. I have cut doorways in a portal space to walk the child through to the other side and into what comes after life. So I've walked from this mortal world of the living into the waiting room for the Summerlands, because in that other space, I don't want the kids to be scared or freaked out as they meet their mother or their grandfather or their grandma or their family, just in general. You don't want them to freak. Then once they go to their kin, spiritually, energetically, I travel back out. I close the portal that I made within the protected space, and then I close the portal that set the space aside. It can be a lot of work, but it's fulfilling. One could say that we are a portal inside of us. Between every cell, there's space and energy. Woven through every chakra is liminality. How do you activate an internal portal, and how do you use it? a gold star to anybody that can tell me who came up with this question. How I activate that internal portal space is through meditation or trance work. Go into that trance state and tap into the energies and spaces within, and use it to do my shape-shifting work or astral travel. It's just something that you learn to do over time, and a lot of witches do it and don't really view it that way. But it is a powerful tool and a powerful gift. Number 11. Do you feel the need to close portal spaces? Portals can exist in smaller forms, such as spirit boards. Do you feel the need to close portal spaces? What do you do to do so? I feel like if you find a portal that has been left open, and you can tell it was kind of human made, you should try to close it. But there isn't one surefire, tried and true way to do it. How I do it is sometimes I'll pull that energy into something. Maybe I'll have a necklace. Maybe I'll have a staff. And maybe it's just me. When it's just me, I will try to figure out the shape of the portal and pull it back in and just remove it. Say you've got a doorway cut between realms. You just kind of imagine closing that energetic door and then removing the framing of it. So the door's gone, the frame for the door is gone, and the portal energy can just kind of dissipate back into the void, into the everything. The final question of the Liminal Spaces tag is, have you ever encountered a portal that was being kept open by some hidden source, whether it be a ley line or some other energetic battery? I have, and it was being kept open by a ley line. My best friend's house, where she lived for a few years in Ohio, she had created a portal, and it had she lives on, the town itself is very, very friggin' strange, built up on ley lines. It has its own history, a lot of hauntings, a lot of weird energy, a lot of rural high strangeness, cryptids, UFOs, animals that shouldn't exist in that space but do. And we've gone to try to close it, and that ley line has made it extremely hard to do. So we've tried to put up some safeguards around it and contain it a little bit. But the very nature of that town, it is a liminal bubble in and of itself. So closing off or modifying that portal isn't going to do much in the greater scheme of the whole. Thank you, Pastor Evans. This concludes the Walking the Hedge tag. I hope that you will join in. I hope you will join us in watching everyone else's videos. After ending the video, I thought of other things. We create liminal spaces all the time. Some of them are astral temples. Our altar spaces are sacred and set aside in other. Our altars. Home altars for family. In some cases, we may call that the ofrenda. Others, we have altars to Hecate, or the Morrigan, or the Green Man, Hearn, Cernunos. The energy shifts, time shifts, the veil shifts. What is on the other side can walk through into a liminal space. Being between seasons, being between times, it's where magic is done. I invite you to join me in walking the hedge. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoy. Until the next one, have a good night.